All right, everybody, here we go. It is Sunday, April 5th, 2020. This is my newest segment of Markets and Look Ahead, and I think we're going to have a very, very interesting week for several reasons. Let's start off with what has been keeping a floor under this market for the past several days. That is crude oil. Let's talk about how this has played out. President Trump put out a tweet saying he brokered a deal, or is brokering a deal. Actually, he said he brokered a deal between Russia and OPEC to cut oil production because he wants all of you to pay more for energy. He also wants to push the stock market higher. It's the man's number one goal. Nothing else matters except stocks going up. You remember all the rhetoric, booming economy, stock market new record high. Well, the Trump bubble is gone, and he realizes that. So understanding that it's been crude oil, again, that's put a floor under the energy sector, actually pushed the entire energy sector higher after the Trump tweet. The financial sector got a boost. It has picked up the market. Now we're finding out that there never really was any broker deal at all. And Russia and OPEC are pushing off any talks, possibly indefinitely, or maybe Thursday, or they have no idea. So this is very negative for crude oil. But what you need to understand at a deeper level is what happened here. So all of you know how important crude oil is to the market. It's the lifeblood of the military-industrial complex, period, the end. President Trump's tweet was a culling for the investors who were short crude oil. Understand, for a market to function properly, you need buyers and sellers. So you need people being long, you need people being short. When this mechanism is removed, you get even a worse malinvestment across the spectrum. And so what happened here, when President Trump put out his tweet that he brokered a deal and OPEC and Russia were going to cut production, turned out to be fake. Okay, what happened? We had a historic 2-day run of crude oil, like 23% on one day, followed by another 13. This completely wiped out the shorts and created an environment of malinvestment. So a lot of investors got hurt there. More are going to get hurt on the long side as this sells off. So let's talk about that. The demand for crude oil on a global scale is plummeting. We have, just here in the United States, over 10 million people lost their jobs in the last 2 weeks, and more are coming. Globally, millions upon millions upon millions. It's crazy. So they can play their games. The president can play his games. OPEC can play their games. Russia can play their games too. But the fact of the matter is, demand is going to fall and stay low for quite a while. But they're going to try to prop crude oil up. They're going to use the president as a mouthpiece to try to, again, save crude oil. Why? The petrodollar. The president must protect it if it means he has to slaughter investors and cause malinvestment. That's really what the president has done, hasn't he? Since his election, I told all of you the stocks would vault higher when he was elected. I was probably one of the first guys on the planet to say that. Took the opposite side of Mark Cuban and a lot of other people who said, oh no, we're going to get a crash. I can't imagine why they thought that would happen. Okay, they were wrong. I was right. But now that the Trump bubble has burst, we still have to burn through the Obama bubble, and we're going to do that. So, with all these things lining up, like I just said, this OPEC meeting, Russia, OPEC, looks like it's being put off. This is negative for crude oil. At the same time, we understand the entire stock market is being bought by the Federal Reserve. Not only are they buying the stock market, let's back up to yesterday. Yesterday I did a video where I explained to you that the Federal Reserve is now the World Central Bank, WCB, period. This is a fact. The Fed is now the World Central Bank. They are funneling cash around the world, dollarizing it on an epic scale. And we're not even allowed to know how much cash they're pumping It's incredible. We're not even allowed to know how much cash they're pumping around the world. So that's pretty incredible. Let's talk about something else that should be stock market negative. We found out that the small business loan program hit a big glitch here. Tens of thousands of small businesses have applied for loans, and not one has been approved as of yet. There's all kinds of glitches all over the place here. Again, what is really going on? Wall Street in the last 3 weeks, now going on 4, has gotten at least $1.5 trillion. That's what we know of right off the bat. But the small businesses got zero. If we don't start to see these loans being approved like tomorrow, you can expect another wave of culling to occur with regard to American small businesses. Again, understand what's going on. The corporations here, they already, again, in their war rooms for like the past couple of years, they've been angling themselves against American small business. They want to run the entire show. They don't want the mom and pop shops. They want the mom and pop shops to close the corporations so they can control everything. The major corporations feel that there is an oversupply, this is a fact, of mom and pop shops and small businesses, and they want them to go. So the merger between the corporations and the new American government is doing a lot to make sure that this happens, that they cull small businesses. This is, again, should be negative for the stock market, but the Fed is buying it all. They're buying it all. Again, let's go over some of the stats here, and I want you to look this up. Don't take Greg Manarino's word for this. 43% of American small businesses are about to collapse if they do not get some type of assistance from the government. Again, let's talk about the bigger picture. President Trump met with the big oil executives last week. They all were promised government assistance. What about the small guy? What about you if you have a small business? I already told you. It's 1, 2, 3. It's two businesses that I know of are about to close forever. One of them has been around for 70 years, family business, and the other one, maybe 5 or 6 years. But these are just people that I personally know that must close. Because they can't handle what's going on here. This deliberate shutdown of the world economy. And they're blaming the coronavirus. It's the coronavirus that shut down the world economy. No, it's our politicians that shut it down for one reason, to, again, empower the corporations globally. Okay, but none more so in the hub here, in the new America. Okay, let's get back on track. So what do we know? We know that OPEC and Russia, they're not going to talk with regard to this apparent broker deal, which never happened. There wasn't even a phase 1 by the president. That's negative for crude oil. The 10-year yield, let's talk about that. The 10-year yield remains well below 1%. That should be very stock market negative. And if you notice, the market cannot hold gains here. This volatility all over the place. Once we put on a gain, the market seems to give it back. There's no stability here in the debt market. There's none. And this market still remains in a massive bubble. And the only thing that's holding it on right now, again, what are they doing? The Fed taking over the world here, the World Central Bank pumping dollars into everything it can except small businesses, okay? To keep the debt bubble propped up, to try to keep the stock market from being cut by 75% from where it is right now. That's all this is. And the propping up of crude oil by the president's tweet, that also put a bottom underneath the stock market. Again, the man is obsessed with the stock market being high. Look here. Don't look here. It's a setup. You're being set up for a culling, a personal culling on an epic scale by the leader of the New World Order, who happens to be President Donald Trump. He's the chosen one. All started under Obama. He was the first chosen one. Okay, now he has passed the baton onto Trump, the second chosen one, to really ram this new world order, new America philosophy, this national socialist philosophy. Here in America, we have a brand new government and a brand new government philosophy. It's going to sweep the globe. Like I've been telling you, the Fed is dollarizing the world for a reason. One world currency, all digital, period, the end. That's where we're going. Probably sooner than later, because they're going to say you got to stop using cash because it's spreading the coronavirus. It's true. So just get ready for that. So, again, if we put all this together, crude oil should, okay, give back a lot of its gains since the Trump tweet, since he caused the shorts to be culled deliberately to cause malinvestment. Okay, that's what he did. That was the script he was given. It's not really his fault. The president is the mouthpiece for the New World Order. The New World Order is being run by the Federal Reserve, who is now the World Central Bank. The banks run the entire show. You know that. This is where we are at here. So, crude oil should fall under pressure here. The 10-year yield is screaming that we have problems. But are they going to try to prop up the market? I guess they're going to, but it's a black hole. It's a black hole that is bottomless. They're going to throw more cash at it. And, you know, let me say this too, going back to small business real quick. So we got $360 billion that the president promised for small businesses, while Wall Street, unlimited. Unlimited. You know that. Now, the president said over the weekend, I think it was on Saturday, that, well, if this money, this $360 billion runs out, he's going to go to Congress and ask for more. How come he didn't have to go to Congress and ask for a single dime to bail out Wall Street to the tune of $1.5 trillion over the past 3 weeks? Going to be much more than that. You understand? You see the distinction here? I hope you can. Again, this is the new America. This is the new world order for which Donald Trump is the chosen one. Once you understand that, you can realize where you stand. And where you stand, you don't amount to a pile of dog shit. You understand? Especially if you have a small business, because they want to cull you. You are going to be culled. Most of you, well, not most, 43% small businesses here in the United States are going to fail. But don't worry. The corporations are going to come right in here, and they're going to take over your spot. That is the reason why they want to cull small businesses. Again, I told you, the merger between this new American government and the corporations is going to be the worst thing that we've ever seen. We've seen national socialism work in the past, you know, Nazi Germany. Didn't start out with the final solution, you know what that was. Started out exactly like now. We're watching history repeat itself in many, many ways. We really are. But that'll lead to other horrors as we move forward, as your rights are taken away, as a new constitution is introduced. That will be happening as well. This has not gotten that bad yet. Once the culling is finished with regard to small business, once they've managed to slaughter many, many more people, they will introduce a new constitution as well here. Be ready for it. Be ready for all these things, because it's all lining up here. Now, I know this is a long video. Give me a few more minutes here. So again, what we're seeing looks like it should, in theory, be negative for the stock market, but you can expect the Fed to buy it all. That's what they're doing. They're buying it all. They're funneling cash to the banks to buy the market, buy large cap stocks. There is no doubt about it. This is exactly what is going on here on an incredible scale. But the question is it enough? I don't believe it is. I really don't. So they're going to throw a lot more cash into the black hole. But then what they're going to do, because it's the grand end of this whole thing, is allow the market to drop much more. Again, because they want to hit you right where it hurts, right in your pocketbook, and make sure that you remain pretty much destitute. Why? So they can control you. Everything we're seeing here is about control. It's a control mechanism. The new hub here, the new America, the Fed with their tentacles around the world right now, dollarizing the world, becoming the world central bank. All about control. The culling of small businesses, all about control. Everything. You guys understand, the vampires, the 1%ers, it's not enough for them. They can have billions laying around doing nothing, but they want more, and they want to suck it right out of your skull. Now, trading. Let's talk about trading. If you subscribe to my newsletter, there is a link in the description of this video. I am following a couple of assets right now, a couple of ticker symbols, which may trigger this week. If they trigger this week, this is completely 100% rules-based. There's no guessing, okay? Doesn't mean these are going to be winners 100%. How I have it set up, okay, just so you know, and the people who have already subscribed to my newsletter know this, but bear with me a minute. Once these triggers go off, let's say you get a trade alert. If you subscribe to my newsletter, there's a link in the description of this video, and you get trade alert. What that means is the particular asset that we're talking about has a 70% or more probability of moving in the expected direction. Let's say you get a trade alert. XYZ is a buy, okay? That means it has a 70% or more probability of moving in the expected direction, whether it's up or down. So with that said, be ready, because the way it's getting set up right now, it looks like one or two are going to trigger this week. You'll get a trade alert. You'll know how to play it with the probability greatly on your side. Doesn't mean they're going to be guaranteed winners, but the probability is that these will play out over time. 70% of these should work out. You understand? That's how it works. Okay? No matter how good you are, no matter what system you use, nothing is guaranteed in this market, especially here. It's pretty outrageous. All right, look, so with that said, again, if you have not subscribed to my newsletter, there is a link down here in the description of this video. You'll get private messages. You'll get trade alerts. I think that's the most important thing for us traders here. I'm trying to level the playing field as much as humanly possible for all of you. You know that. I'm on your side to the highest order. I am not going to let us lose. I'm not going to let it happen. Bet against this debt. Become your own central bank. Realize where you are in the world. You're in the hub of the new America. We have a new world central bank called the Federal Reserve. Try to think ahead a little bit of what this may mean for you. Your small business is probably going to be culled. Your investments are going to be culled. You already lost a lot in this market. There's more coming. So think about these things and how it's going to affect you personally moving forward here. And I promise to keep you on top of it. That's my promise to you since day one, and it still stands. Love you a lot. Please share the video. See you in the morning.